Hello and welcome back to Larissa's Kitchen, the show that receives fake letters from fake people with fake problems. Like this one. It says, Dear Miss Kitchen, I really like your show and I especially love your pizza. Last year I was involved in an accident that robbed me of the ability for creative thought. I've been eating your cheese pizzas ever since, but would greatly appreciate some other topping ideas. Single-mindedly yours, Morgan Prescott Limley. P.S. You're a hottie. We'll edit that bit out. Well, Mr. Prescott Limley, have we got a show for you? All right, Mr. Limley, as you may remember, we have to start with the pizza dough first. We're going to be making 2 recipes of dough to make 4 pizzas. So we've got 3 cups of flour in our largest work bowl of a food processor, along with about 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. Now this is a 1.25 cups of very warm water, about 115 degrees. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of yeast and about 2 tablespoons of sugar to this. Then we're going to mix it up and add about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Okay, let's give this 3 or 4 minutes to bloom. All right, this yeast has bloomed, so it's ready to add to the food processor. Now if you remember, we're going to add it all at once with the food processor running. And I'm not going to talk because it's noisy. Okay, we're going to take this over to the granite, get it out, get it shaped into a ball and into a greased bowl. Okay, one more recipe. Okay, let's get started on our toppings. Well, Mr. Limley, we're going to start with a hot chicken wing topping, and we're going to put this together while the dough rises. For that, you're going to need 3 chicken breast halves, pounded flats, along with the wing meat, and we're going to season them with these secret 11 herbs and spices, which aren't really a secret because it's just seasoning salt, ground mustard, and ground coriander. Then we're going to dust them with a little bit of flour. Okay, once we've got these chicken breasts dusted, we need to work on the hot wing sauce. Now this is incredibly simple. It's just a 1/2 stick of butter and about 6 ounces of hot sauce. Now the Tapatios is good, Crystal hot sauce is good, Tabasco is going to be way too hot, and personally I think Frank's is a little too salty. Alright, now I've got my oven preheated to 350 degrees. This is going to go in there until the butter melts. Then it can come out and just sit on top of the stove because we're going to be frying these chicken breasts and then putting them in here to finish in the oven. Alright, I've got about 1/4 inch of oil in my largest pan, so I'm going to be frying these all together. Now, we're really just frying these to get color on them because they'll finish cooking in the oven. Okay, in the oven for 30 minutes. Alright, Mr. Limley, if hot chicken wing seems a little bit too daring for you, how about we try 2 more traditional pizza toppings? Meat lovers and sausage, peppers, and onions. For that, we're going to need 3 lengths of mild Italian sausage. Now we're going to divide this between the 2. This is about a 1/2 stick of pepperoni that I've diced. You could just buy a bag of diced pepperoni. This also has 2 7mm thick slices of hard salami that I've also diced. Now, for the sausage, peppers, and onions, we just need, again, part of our sausage here. Then this is a 1/2 red onion that's been thinly sliced, and these are 2 bell peppers, an orange and a red one that I've thinly sliced. Now, we're probably not going to use all the onions and all the bell peppers for the toppings. Okay, Once this sausage gets all the way browned up, half of it is going to go into this berry bowl, and that way you can drain a little bit of the fat out, because this is going to be on top of the pizza and we don't want it to be too greasy. The other half is going to stay in this pan, and then we're going to add our pepperoni and hard salami so that it can release some of its oils as well. All right, Mr. Limley, you don't want to go so traditional? Well, how about pineapple and pepperoni instead of Canadian bacon? For that, we're going to need the other half of our pepperoni stick that's been diced, along with pineapple. Now, I actually like to use the rings as opposed to the pineapple chunks because these are so much thinner. That way then we can just cut up our own and they're not too big for the pizza. All right, the meat lovers is done sauteing. Now this has way too much grease on it, so I'm going to go ahead and put it through a sieve, and I'm actually going to rinse this with hot water to get most of this grease off. That will help keep the top of the pizza from getting too greasy. Okay, the hot wing topping is just getting ready to come out of the oven, so we need to think about the dough. Now, we're going to be making 4 16-inch pizzas, so we need to treat each of these with just a little bit of cooking spray. All right, Mr. Limley, we need to knead this down and redistribute all the air bubbles, and now we need to cut this in half. Okay, let's get this rolled into our pizza shape. And remember, Mr. Limley, you need your special pastry docking tool that looks a little bit like a fork. All right, now that the chicken's out, we need to turn the oven up to 425 degrees. And remember, Mr. Limley, to keep your crust from getting doughy from your toppings, we give each one of them a 6-minute pre-bake. Okay, while these crusts are pre-baking, this chicken will have cooled down enough that you can handle it. We need to cut it into bite-sized pieces. And then, so we don't waste any of this sauce, we're going to put it all right back into this pan. Okay, Mr. Limley, you're only going to need 2 more things. For each pizza, you're going to need 8 ounces of shredded mozzarella cheese, and we're going to also need about 2 quarts of pizza sauce. You may remember this from the first season. Okay, while these pizza crusts are pre-baking, we can start building our other pizzas. Alright, so each pizza is going to need about 8 ounces of sauce, 8 ounces of the mozzarella cheese, and then 1 of the toppings. Now that the crusts are done pre-baking, it's time to start in on baking the pizzas. So we're going to go ahead and turn our speed bake on, and these are going to bake, because they have toppings, for about 12 or even 13 minutes. We'll just have to check them. Okay, Mr. Limley, I know we've come this far, and I know you're desperate to try this pizza, but you have to wait at least 11 minutes. 15 to 20 would be even better. right, Mr. Limley, let's give this pizza a taste. Oh, did you want some too, Han?